We are just getting out of trial not long ago. Let me. Can I get you? I'm gonna get you in.
Okay.
You guys go check her TikTok out.
Hey.
She is from Brooklyn.
New York City. I'm from South Jamaica, Queens, but I live in money making Manhattan right now.
And
So
y'all,
I'm right near here. So that's how I opted to skip down here. You know what I'm
and
saying?
she's gonna be going live for the whole trial. She's gonna be here for all 8 weeks.
Every day I can.
Every
The
day.
only day I ain't gonna come if I get a gig or I got to handle some business, of course. You know what I'm saying? Because the only days it's off is the weekend. They might have take a day or two off here or there. Who knows?
And you guys, she's gonna do. She said that she would do a live with us and talk about her brother. Is that your brother?
Yeah. So my brother's name is Black Rob. He had a song called Whoa. I was in a group called Alumni. I'm the first lady of Alumni. God bless his soul. He passed away a few years, due to he had bad kidneys. He was in the hospital one time for like 6 months with his kidneys, and he came back out and he continued. You got to listen to the doctor. When they say stop drinking and, it's crucial, you got to stop drinking.
Yeah.
But, I love my brother, and it's Alumni forever. And I'm also a music artist. I just releasing my own songs with my own beats and stuff. I just got my songs on all the reality shows, so you be hearing my songs. Yeah.
What shows?
Baddies. Jocelyn, I got it on the Zeus channel. Yeah, I pitched it myself, and they said yes. Right? And
are they currently on? Because
no, it's going to be next season.
Next season. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then my songs on all platforms on Spotify, Miss Knockout, so you can stream, you can find it. But I'm going to be releasing new music soon.
Yeah. Okay, so we gonna go check her out on TikTok. She gonna give us behind the scenes. She knows the family, y'all. She's got the scoop. She knows Miss Combs, Janice Combs. Yeah, this is the lady right here. Y'all want some real New York? It's right here.
Yes, yes.
Hey Lulu, how you doing? Yeah, so we're just getting out.
Have to be gone, right?
I am out here. I got some photos of the kids coming out of court and everything. It's crazy. It sounds like they are being positive because people have gone over to them and asking them how are they doing, and they're holding up pretty good. I talked to Diddy's publicist or Satisa Tells. There's so many people out here. It's just crazy. But let me turn it around so you guys can see. The media is still out here. People stay out here all night so that they can get into the courtroom. So right now, a lot of the people are gone for the day. But I did capture the family coming out of the court this afternoon. I also got photos of them going in the court this morning, you guys. I was actually I actually went in like at the same time the family went in. There was Christian, there was Quincy and Miss Combs and some other person. And y'all, I saw that lady again with the white nails. You guys, I saw her. I'm from the California, and so I went in I was like right in line with them. Right when Miss Combs, Janice Combs, when she went in, you guys, they patted her wig. I was like, what? They had her sit down. She has that wig that everybody makes fun of, and I'm not gonna make fun of it. I'm gonna give the woman her respect. She is not on trial. It's her son that's on trial. But she sat down and they patted her wig. I'm like, well, damn, what you guys think? She gonna bring a gun into the courtroom? Like, what's up with that? But today was crazy. Today was a crazy day. Cassie, they thought, well, actually, they told us that she was only going to be on the witness stand as of the end of yesterday, but she actually, we got to exit. Okay. She is actually going to be going on trial until on the stand until tomorrow. And the judge was kind of admonishing his people. Okay, I'll follow you over there. The judge was the judge was admonishing her, the defense, because they're doing their cross and they had given a specific time and they're going over the time. So that was one thing. But now it was interesting today. They went over a lot of the text messages that they talked about. Some of them they had talked about previously. But the interesting thing is, you guys, is that the defense, okay, so you guys know Cassie yesterday, it was prosecuting. Now today, the defense brought up some text messages where Cassie was saying some stuff that was pretty wild. She want her legs flipped back, and I can't even repeat this stuff on YouTube. So a lot of people were shocked. We were gasping. And she literally, let me see. I don't know if they had her read it, but what they did was they brought up some of their old text messages. So basically what we're seeing is that, okay, all right. I will, yeah, I'll be here tomorrow. I'm gonna try to get some sleep, and I will be here too. Okay, all right. Okay, I will. And so, basically, the prosecuting side, they presented their text messages and everything, so it kind of made Diddy look bad. I mean, of course, you know, he'd been beating up on the woman and all that kind of stuff, and all he wanted was freak off, freak off, freak off. So then today, the defense, they're showing some of their text messages, and Cassie is like, I mean, you know, they were in a relationship, of course, but it sounded like some of the text messages, she was initiating it, talking about daddy, I want to, or Poppy, or whatever she called him. She wanted to get effed, and she wanted to freak off. So that was kind of crazy. So it made her look, people are like, well, what is it? So that's kind of where we are now. And so when they were questioning her about some of the different text messages, let me turn this camera on me for just a minute so y'all can see my shirt. This morning, when I was getting on the elevator, I had my because I've been wearing my t-shirt with Celebrity ScandaLust, and Max, because you know Max V World, he's here too. He has a YouTube channel, so we've been kind of coming to the trials together. The family saw my shirt, and Max said they were pointing at me because the other day they looked, and they was one of the ladies, the lady with the white Freakoff nails, she looked at the other women because I happened to kind of walk near their circle. They were having like a little family time outside of the courtroom. And she looked at my shirt because it said Celebrity ScandaLust. Well, this is a damn scandal. And she kind of rolled her eyes. And the Sarah Chapman, you know, that's Diddy's other baby mom. She was there, and the twins were there, and a couple of some other women that I recognize, but I don't know who they are. So they kind of had a nasty look. So today we saw him again, and this time I was like right behind him, and I had my shirt on. Oh, Brian Steele. Oh, he did. Brian Steele. Okay, so everybody is coming out, and the funny thing about it is people are willing to talk to you, contact, and just kind of connect. So this is just awesome. It's just awesome. But anyway, so when we were getting on the elevator, I was like, let's get on the elevator with the family, because it was about 7 or 8 of them, right? And it was enough room for Max and myself, but Max was like, nah. And he was saying, uh-oh, they pointing at you and giving you a dirty look, right? So I feel like, because I've been wearing this shirt all week, I've been wearing my logo, because I don't want to have to tell everybody who I am.
Brian Steele said you're a great commentator.
Who, you?
Brian Steele said that about me.
Awesome, congratulations. Okay, you guys, I talked to her earlier. That's Miss Knockout.
I'm probably looking crazy. I'm tired, y'all.
We all looking crazy. Everybody
Don't
looking
judge
crazy.
me, please. Don't judge me.
Oh, you guys, and there's Holly. Let's go talk to Holly real quick. Oh, wait, is she in the middle? Let me see. Miss Holly, I'm on live. Can you just say hi? This is Diddy's publicist. She's on. Are you gonna be here for the whole trial?
7, 8 weeks, yeah.
She's from LA, you guys.
Los
This
Angeles.
is the LA
West Side?
today. West Side? Okay, thank you.
Bye, take care, see you tomorrow.
Okay, you guys, so
They
that
won't
was
let
his
me go.
publicist.
They don't want me to leave.
Girl, stay here and get. Hey. Okay, you guys, so that was Holly Baird, and that's Diddy's publicist. She's from Los Angeles. Yes, Chris. The Bay, from LA to the Bay in the house. Everybody is really nice too, though. So I don't know if you guys know infamous Sylvia. She got an opportunity to talk to the family, well, the boys. She talked to the sons, and they've been saying that they're pretty positive. They think their dad is going to do okay, that he's going to get off, you know. So I don't know. Listening to everything. Thank you, girl. Listen, it's hard. It's so many people, like, y'all see the media now. This is mainstream media. If you see all of those tents, that if you look over here, look across the street, let me show you guys. There are people that line up the night before. They're called line holders, you guys. They line up and they're already getting in line. You see that right there? See those guys sitting down? Let me see if I can get. Okay, you see those people sitting there? They make in the upwards of $600 to start getting in line right now for court tomorrow morning, because there's only limited seating in the courtroom. There's limited press. There's the family. There's the attorneys, and so they have only so many public seats. So they get in line. They have to get in line and hold seats for everybody, right? But I mean, the poor folks like us, we don't have money like that. Chris says, I love seeing the independent. I love seeing the independent CCs doing their thing out there. Yes, it is New York. We're right in front of the courtroom. It's the end of the day. This is Cassie's second day. Maybe this is her third day giving testimony. She's going to be here tomorrow. We saw her husband the first day. I'm going to say on day 2, he was in the back of the courtroom, and he had to sit through the testimony of one of the first sex workers. So he actually sat there and he listened to it. And then they did not want him in the courtroom. It sounds like the defense, they didn't want him in the courtroom, but because they didn't want him to hear any of Cassie's testimony in relation to certain things. But he was around, he's here. They're chasing the poor man down like he's running around, right? And Cassie went through the back, so they've been keeping her sequestered from like the media and everything. So they take her out through the back, but her husband and Diddy's family, they're all coming out through the front so we get a chance to see him. And you guys, I apologize for the lack of a steady hand, but I'm holding it. My little tripod is in my bag, right? It's so many people and I'm short and they kind of pushing me around, you guys. So I'm just holding it in my hand. But you guys, another thing, I got a little clip with the lady from Rotten Mango. Y'all, you know me. I be butchering stuff like the messy sweet spot. I called the woman rotten tomatoes, but she went viral. So you guys, I know you guys know about Rotten Mango, huge channel. She has a huge channel and she was really sweet. So I stopped and talked to her. I just can't tell you. I mean, the Cassie situation, it's exciting. It's so much going on. But I'll tell you, just meeting the various YouTubers and all of these personalities, the TikTokers, it's just like a Super Bowl, you guys. Good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay.
I'm getting ready to walk.
Okay. It's amazing that you guys, I wish I could stay here longer, but I got to get back home. You guys know I'm out here for this move to Jersey. So back to Cassie. Cassie, yesterday she was pretty good. She cries a little bit. She hasn't really broken down. She's been holding her own, because I think it's really hard to recount some of the stuff that she had to talk about. I know you guys have been seeing it in the media where she had to talk about how Diddy and one of the ex-workers actually peed in her mouth and she almost choked. The testimony was so graphic to think that this woman had to repeat that her husband is listening to this, and the whole world, well, not the whole world, y'all, let me not put the 10 on the 2, but like just to think that she had to recount that and some of the things that she did, I mean, it was shocking. We were gasping. There were points in time where where she was recounting some of the things that they did. And when I looked at some of the notes, like when I'm looking online, there's some things that they just missed. Some things that are just, because we're trying to take it in our notes, right? So, hold on. She was saying how, he forced her to do it. Like, she pretty much was saying that he was responsible for all the drug use. He gave her the drugs. But you guys, one thing that I did not know, which was really shocking, and I have to do this when I'm, sitting down and I'm in front of my laptop. Cassie went to rehab, you guys, in February of 2023, which means she was still doing drugs even after she left Diddy, right? Which was a little bit shocking. Even after she had given birth, she was still, out there doing stuff. And so, not that Diddy hasn't done some mean things and everything. But the problem I feel like the prosecuting team has is that it's seeming like it's domestic violence, but it doesn't seem to at this point, and a lot of us are saying the same thing. It's just not looking like trafficking. Now, the prosecuting team, when they brought in the sex workers and they put Cassie on the stand, the one thing, the way I think they're bringing in the trafficking is because they were asking her, okay, so where did these workers meet you? And a lot of them, sometimes they would meet in Miami, they would fly to LA, they've even gone to Ibiza with them, right? So they've gone to other countries. So that's where I believe they're going to try to pull in the trafficking. But these were sex workers, so that's their job. But okay, so here's the other thing. What they're trying to say, so what the defense is going to say, because Cassie was saying when they did their when she booked the experiences, that's what they called them, experiences. Cassie was saying that it was they were dancers, they were escorts. They don't call them sex workers, right? Because that's illegal. So now where they're kind of trying to go and say, well, we paid money to have them come out and strip and have fun, but they weren't necessarily paying for sex. And the other thing is that oftentimes, now here's another thing, and I don't know how the defense is going to do this, but Cassie was the one having sex with these men. Now, up to this point, we haven't heard from any other women talking about what they did or anything, or if he's had, been with men, because before I came and sat and listened to testimony, we've heard a lot saying that Diddy was with men. I have not seen that. I have not heard Cassie say that. Cassie was saying when they got their very first worker, Daniel, Cassie said that she told the worker, we want to have an experience. We're doing this with me and my husband, and he's doing this for my birthday. Because he was under the impression that it was going to be for a bachelorette party, right? So it was just going to be her, the worker, and Diddy. And she said, my husband's not gay. So I don't know where these rumors started. And I don't know, it could still be a fact that he's bi. I do believe that he's got to be something, because there was a lot of text messages and conversations about big black, y'all know the rest, right? And so Diddy they would have conversations, you like this one, you like that. So for a man to be that into the body parts of another man and how big his member is, that kind of makes me feel like, and so as the years went on, because he kind of, in my opinion, they kind of used the same ones over and over again, right? Because Diddy had a type that he wanted her to be with. He preferred the big black, but again, as time went on, and maybe if the worker wasn't available, he became more flexible, because I think they even had like a Hispanic guy. And then it just didn't matter as long as it was 3. And they got more and more to their drug spiral. Cassie talked about how she would get sick. He would make her have these freak-offs even during her cycle, you guys. I mean, because she talked about the damage that they did to the various hotel rooms. And she said sometimes it would be candle wax all over the floors and the walls. It would be baby oil. Like, they would use like up to 10 bottles of big baby oil bottles. You guys know there's the regular standard, the small size that most of us probably see in the stores. She said they would be big ones, and they would have like 10. And when they were doing stuff, Diddy would make them constantly oil up, like they had to stay moisturized or oiled, like slick. And she said it was almost not enough. He would say stuff like, you're dry, you're not glistening, and make them pour more baby oil. So that was some kind of a fixation of his. It was really weird. And they had another lube, I can't remember the other lube, but she said by the time they would finish these freak-offs, they literally tore these rooms up. And they would have to have a cleaning staff. They would have to have people literally come in and clean these rooms up. And another thing, they talked about the freak-offs. Now, we've been hearing about the freak-offs. There has a lot of times the media has been portraying the freak-offs as being like, after these big Hollywood parties that Diddy had. At this point, these freak-offs have nothing to do with partying. Not like that. they're not like parties where you see the Ashton Kutcher and all them people. No, these are like experiences where Diddy and Cassie are literally just calling a third person to have relations with them, a threesome. That's it. So the freak-offs, the way the media I think portrayed it was like, they were doing the freak-offs after parties, because they were saying after a certain party, then there's another Diddy party, and that could be. But basically, what the prosecution team is talking about and showing, that's not what we're seeing. We're not hearing nothing about no celebrities. So far, what we heard about is her dating Kid Cudi, and we also heard about her dating Michael B. Jordan and how Diddy got mad about that. But there's nothing about no Jay-Z and no, people going anywhere doing stuff. Now, in his civil suits, that might be the case. I don't know. But here so far, there's nothing salacious like that. It sounds like him and Cassie did freak-off, like threesomes. That was their thing. It was called Wild King Nights, Hotel Nights, or freak-offs. And generally, for the most part, the typical freak-off would be like, it was like an orchestrated, it was like, it was a session, but it had parts, like part 1, part 2, steps or whatever, right? So it would have to start a certain way with maybe her moisturizing the man's body. And I have to look at the notes because he was very specific in what he wanted her to do and how she had to do it. And I'm just going to say it like this. Again, like I said, I need to look at my notes. But say, for example, if they were having one of their sessions, she had to do the oil on the man. It's going to be the same routine. Then they have to start kissing. And then Diddy may be over in the corner jacking, right? And he's watching. And Cassie and the other person are engaging. Now, generally, it was usually 3. It was her and the other, partner, the males. But then she said there were times where a freak-off could be up to 3 to 4 men. So that meant in a night or days, sometimes the freak-offs could last anywhere from 2 hours to 4 hours, and then maybe a day, a couple days or so. And if it was more than just her, like more than just one worker, it could be up to 3 or 4 men. So that means she would have to perform, maybe take a slight break. She didn't say take a break. I'm saying take a break because the way they described it, I just can't see it happening like that, because she might be with the same guy for hours while Diddy is watching. They're doing DRUGSs, they're doing that, and then she's stepping away from it, and then the next guy comes in and it starts all over again, you guys. It's like she would have to start the same routine. Then we start with the baby oil, then we start with the kissing, then we do this, and then, it was like he had some kind of fixation with, I can't even explain it. It would take a therapist to explain it. That seems like it was the only way. Now, we still got to hear more testimony from her. But what I was talking to Max about is that he didn't seem like he could have relations with her other than through these freak-offs. She was so desperate to spend time with him. She talked about how, they were questioning her about, well, you said you were the one who sent him this text message saying you wanted a freak off and you want to get effed and all of this stuff. And she said, guys, it was so sad. She said, because I felt like that's all I was good for him. I felt like that was the only thing he was using me for. So she would have these freak offs with these men. Let's say if they had a freak off and it was like an 8 or 9 hour kind of a session, and she had 2 guys, she would try to get through the steps faster, because at the end of the freak offs, at the end of the steps, I think maybe 4 or 5 steps, then she would get to go into the bedroom with Diddy. They would go into the bedroom, just the 2 of them, and the other person, the third party, would sit in the living room or whatever the hotel they had. Like they usually got suites, so he would sit out, and she says he would just the S worker would sit out. They would go in the bedroom, and then that's when, I know you guys heard this, she would rub the guy's his fluid on Diddy's chest and stuff like that. And so once they got to that part of the session, That's where she felt that she could be close to him. So she would try to rush it. So sometimes when they were doing the situations, she would hurry up with the baby oil. She would hurry up giving the person oral. She would like try to rush through the steps. And if she pissed Diddy off, y'all, he would make her go back and repeat the steps. No, 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 you did this too fast. You need to go back, start from step 2. This is how controlling she's saying. Now this is what she's saying, how controlling he was, and the fact that she would try to get through the steps. She was saying that she did all of these things because ultimately the ultimate goal for her was to spend, they called it a one-on-one. So like her one-on-one time with him, right? So her one-on-one time with him would not be going to a movie, not be going out to dinner. Her one-on-one time with him would be in the bed after they done been through a freak off. She has not talked about any, and I know they've had to have some times where she was just with him, where you know, it wasn't after a freak off, but it sounds like that's the only time that he was dealing with her is when it was for sex related. And the way this relationship went, you guys, I always thought Cassie was one of his girlfriends, but it doesn't sound like it. We know that he had many women, but it even sounds like she was just a sex worker for him. That's what it sounded like. She wanted a relationship. She wanted more. He never had any intentions of, she wanted a baby with him. She wanted to get married, and it was never going to happen because Kim Porter had his heart. She admitted to being jealous of Kim Porter, y'all. She admitted to being jealous. She didn't like the fact that he would spend all this time with his family. He would keep her hidden. They knew about her. But during holiday times, no, he was with his family. And she didn't like that. Like, she didn't get times with him. You know, she would have to go and be off by herself, and she didn't feel it was fair. It's like, why am I, you know, why are you the only person in my life? And, you know, you get to have all these women. So she also talked about Gina. She was very jealous of Gina as well, because she thought that he had broken up with Gina multiple times. He lied to her about Gina, and she was finding out that he wasn't. I mean, it's just so much, you guys. Then there's also a couple instances where she was violent, you know. So she said that she was insanely jealous. So that's where they can show that, you know, because the defense is trying to say that she was just as toxic as Diddy, and, you know, she liked to, you know, fight a little bit, and sometimes she would, because she even talks about an instance where she jumped up and popped him in his head, y'all. So, you know, Cassie was like, F this. She got mad and she hauled off and smacked him upside the head. But unfortunately, I mean, he got pissed and he wore her out after that. So it was definitely toxic. Let's see, what else did she say? Those freak-offs were really hard on her. That's what she said, you know, because she stayed drugged up. Every time they had a freak-off, for the most part, there was drugs involved. He didn't care if she got sick. There were times where she would take particular drugs and she might throw up or have a reaction. And even if she went and threw up, like say if she took like 5 or 10 minutes and she's doubling over throwing up, as soon as she was able to kind of look up and sit down, it's like, okay, let's get right back to it. Another thing is that Diddy was very, if a man couldn't give his fluids, and you guys know what I mean because this is YouTube, if he couldn't ejac, you know what I'm saying, then he would not get paid the money, the full money. So a freak off could be about, let's say, I'm going to say the highest I heard was about $6,000, and it would depend on who the person was. But Diddy would want those guys to inside of her, put their fluids inside of her, put their fluids on her back. The fluids that they would put on her stomach or her back, he would have go in the bedroom and, you know, like I said, rub it on his body, and also have them do it inside of her. Now, some people are saying that's because he liked to slurp it. I don't know. I have not heard her say that, but those are some theories. He would make her have sex, even with the UTI. She constantly kept UTI. She stayed getting infections because Diddy didn't like them to use any kind of protection. So they haven't said what kind of STD she had. I believe they don't want her medical record discussed because it's probably pretty horrific, you guys. It's probably pretty bad. But she he would make her still have relations with those workers even when she was even if she had something, it didn't matter. Which I thought that's pretty disgusting. The one worker said that he didn't want to do it, right? He always wanted to make sure that they had that they had protection, but what they would do is, he said he was demanding that they provide her medical history to show that she was clean. But unfortunately, there were times that they did it, and that they went ahead and had their relations, and she did not provide her medical records, but he would provide his. So it was just, you guys might have comments. I'm sorry, I can't really see the screen because I'm trying to multitask out here because it's still kind of busy. This was just heart-wrenching. She showed videos of the bruising. They showed not videos, I'm sorry, they showed still photos of some of the bruises she had on her body, and it was pretty bad. There was a time when she was able to, her mom took pictures and stuff, but she went back to him. And you guys, let me say this, hold on one second. She talks about the grape. You guys remember when she said in the complaint where she talks about the one time that they met up after they had broken up? And I know her husband has to kind of feel, during her testimony, the way that she talks about this man, the only reason that I feel that they're not together is because she finally had enough, and she felt like he was never going to make her his wife or have kids with her. And I think that's why she ended it. But it feels like, and a lot of people said that, if you were able to see her emotions, not what you're reading, because if you read it, you don't get the same, you miss the emotions. She seems like she still loves him. A lot of people even said during her testimony, during the first day, that they felt that she was still being guarded and still trying to protect him. I'm serious, we know that she probably got immunity to speak, that she probably was going to get some charges, so she had to speak. But it sounds like she still really loves this man to some degree. It was just wild. I can't even, I'm sitting there with just, this is like a movie, beyond a movie. Everybody I talked to said this is like, you can't write something like this, When they first started to Freakoff, you guys, Diddy would wear like a bandana around his face, and the only thing you could see was his eyes and like a hat. I don't think he wore sunglasses, but his face would pretty much be covered up. And the first sex worker, the first one that they got, I think this was like 6 months to a year after they started dating, he said that the only reason he knew it was Diddy was because of his voice. And so as the years went on, they became more relaxed and more, they stopped wearing the mask and stuff, because Cassie would wear a mask as well too when they first started, because they didn't want anybody to know it. But after a while, you guys, after they were recording these things and keeping them on their devices, for some reason and somehow these things started getting leaked, these videos. I don't know if it was Diddy, because what they told us, here's another thing that's interesting. They told us that when they raided Diddy's house, that they had all these videos. The prosecuting attorney, well, was it the defense attorney? Y'all, I gotta go look at my notes. Whatever. One of the sides said when they raided his house, they did not find any videos of Cassie. All of the videos that they have for this trial are from Cassie's phone. So that was another thing that people kind of was a bombshell. It's like, wait a minute, you said that he was blackmailing you, but you're the one that has the videos, right? So was he really blackmailing you? Or, what's really going on here? She talks about the fact that this is what I wanted to tell you guys. I started telling you guys about the grape. Do you guys know so in her complaint, she talks about the fact that they had broke up, they got back together. No, they didn't get back together. They broke up, and they were trying to get closure. Mind you, you guys, she's still dating her husband, Alex Fine, at the time. So she's left Diddy. I think they said Diddy was still with Kim Porter up until her death. So it sounds like they never really officially broke up. That's from what I'm hearing, because I had heard that they weren't together, but it sounds like they always had some kind of a something together, right? So even, this was compelling because they asked her after he raped you, did you ever, because they weren't together, did you ever have intimacy or relations with him again? And she said yes. So that was a shocker. Like, even after all that, you got Alex Fine, and you still messing with this man even after the grape. That was one thing. And then another thing they found out today, which was another shocker, is she was saying that she hated the Freakoffs, but when they were broken up, they weren't together, she was still doing Freakoffs. And this is when she was allegedly dating Kid Cudi. So they were kind of questioning her about that. See, this is where they're trying to make her look like a little freak, right? It's like, you're not together. You guys are broken up. You're taking a break. Why are you still doing Freakoffs? So they were asking her, okay, so you sneaking around with Kid Cudi. Does Diddy know about this? And I can't remember her answer. I got to go look at my notes. But she's like saying that, so they're saying, so you guys didn't see each other, right? You guys weren't together. She's like, I don't know. So it's like, wait a minute. If you guys aren't, so they were asking her, did Diddy know that you guys were on a break? And she couldn't recall. And what I noticed today is a lot of the questions that they were asking her yesterday, when it was the prosecuting team, things that painted her in a positive light, she was very clear and lucid about. Today, and I'm not bashing her, I mean, that's a strategy, but today, when they were crossing her and bringing up text messages from her BlackBerry with the dates, and the little nicknames they called each other, because she called him Pop Pop and he called her Cece, which was short for Cassie Combs, right? He's like acting like she's wifey. Certain things, when it would be too vulgar or just explicit, she couldn't remember or give context. So for example, yesterday they might say, well, when you were throwing up and Diddy came and pulled you by your hair, how did you feel? Do you remember that? Yes, and I was hurt, and I asked him to stop, and I didn't want to do it. So today, when they would show some things, oh, well, you asked for this one, you were the one talking about, I can't wait to do it, and talking about you were going to set it up and get some new lingerie. Like, they were asking her questions. Well, what did you mean when you said this? Oh, I don't recall. I don't know. So that was really interesting. Whenever it was something that was like, oh, wait, hold on, can you explain to us why you said that? Her memory failed her. Now, I don't know if everybody else feels that way. I talked to quite a few people, and of course, we're all giving our opinion. Diddy, believe it or not, you guys, regardless, this is New York. He has a lot of supporters. The first day, there was a couple of fights out here, and people, Diddy didn't do it, Diddy didn't do it. He does have support, you guys. It's interesting that he has a lot of the women, the baby mamas, the extended family, they are here showing support. Misa was here, I think, for a couple of days. They said that, I saw her, she had like some long braids or something, and she kind of hobbled in. She's on kind of a walker. So what they're saying is that she had some kind of a slip and fall or something. So I haven't seen her, today or anything. But it's crazy because a lot of his baby moms, they're here. They're supporting him. The family is here, Let's see what else. Let me look at the chat, see if anybody's saying something. Brenda is saying sad. The lounge is saying sad. Wow. Yeah, I mean, he has a lot of support. Some people here are saying, like, people, you guys, okay. I gotta be careful because I see some people running around. They're saying, like, I talked to Lauren LaRosa. You guys go check her out. She shouted my channel out, and she was doing a live, and I'm on one of hers as well. But anyway, we've been talking, and she was telling me that anybody who's here in New York in the entertainment circle or anything, Cassie knew her place, and that she knew Kim Porter was the top woman, and she knew how to adjust. And they said that when they would be at events, and if Kim Porter said, I want her gone or she's got to go, he would make her leave. Like, he treated her like the help, and she went for it. I mean, it's just, I don't know what to say, you know. So then they did also talk about her and Michael B. Jordan. They're also trying to prove that the trafficking part, you know, they're trying to say that he had the guys flying out to different places. But like I said, the defense is saying, no, we paid for dancing or an experience, and that's a swinging lifestyle. So that's not really, shouldn't be RICO charges. And then there's the arson. Now that's a big one too, because arson is a felony, right? And so they talked about how there's he had somebody that he kidnapped, and they went, okay, let me get out the way here, you guys, because there's a group of people, some young folks coming. Let me get out of their way. Excuse me, that he had kidnapped and one of his employees. And when they say kidnap, basically what they're saying is like, you know, he had his weapons. They made her get in a car to go look for Cassie, stuff like that. I mean, this man did a lot. He really did a lot. Her self-esteem was shot. So you guys heard about the whole urine part. You heard about the fluids on his chest. So far, we haven't heard anything about him being with men, because a lot of people say that, you know, he's bi, but I'm still waiting to hear about a Freakoff where he did something to a man, and we haven't heard that. There has been nothing about no Justin Bieber. Remember, everybody was saying what he did to Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber is not even a topic of discussion. There are no minors, you know. Now, what I've heard from, you know, just people who are getting information, because there are people sitting in the gallery and they're talking to us and giving information that the minors, if they were bringing up charges on the minors, Cassie was allegedly was involved as well. And you guys know I said that from the beginning. I said, if there was minors, I wonder what was Cassie's role. And apparently if there were minors, they were both doing it together. Okay, so that is something, and I don't know if it's a fact, but that's something that's being bounced around the courtroom, and they're saying that's one of the reasons they were able to get her, as well as other things that she participated in. Another reason why they were able to get her testimony and to get her to testify against them. And I think I told you guys yesterday that she got 20 million. I know people were talking about the NDA, but the NDA is null and void when it comes to a federal case. They can ask her anything and she will have to disclose it. I mean, unless I guess she says she doesn't want to answer. But they talked about that, and I told you she talked about she wanted to unalive herself. Today there were no real bombshells other than some of those text messages, because remember, this is on cross. So they're bringing up stuff that she talked about yesterday. But the things that were really, really salacious is the fact that she was saying some nasty stuff, y'all. Like little Miss Cassie. And she's saying she said it because she loved him and she wanted to please him. And I get that too, because, you know, sometimes when you love a man, you'll do certain things. But personally, I just feel like she went above and beyond, and they were asking her, like, she wanted this to be secret. Some of these videos started getting out, right? And she was kind of wiping her eyes about it. And they said, well, you wanted it to be a secret. Why was it so important for you to keep it a secret? And she said because of her career. Like, she still was under the impression that she could be a superstar. Or, well, I don't want to say it. Thank you, Lounge. Yes, you guys, please hit the like button. Thank you, please. She wasn't saying she could be a superstar, but she still had hopes of being somebody, right? Because she had a 10 record deal with him. He signed her for 10 albums, right? And so she was saying she was so worried about these videos getting out because of her career. But then she kind of started whimpering and crying, and they were asking her, like, well, why, what's the matter, kind of like. And she was saying she was so afraid that her mom was going to find out, you guys. She said that's another reason that she just knew it was wrong. But there was a point in which her family found out about how he was beating on her and stuff. Her whole family knew about it. That's another thing they mentioned, because she was saying stuff like, you're the best thing to happen to me, you've made me a better woman, a better daughter, all of these things. And they are like, well, wait a minute, you saying he did all of these things and that it made an improvement in your life, and your family knew all of, what was going on. And so she said at some point her family became aware, and her mom took the pictures. And when we were talking about it out, when we were all outside the courtroom, people are saying, if your mom took those pictures, because they showed the pictures that her mom took, how did your mom let you go back? And I know she was an adult, but at that time she was still kind of young. And I just feel like, come on, y'all know the black mothers was in there like, he would have had to kill both of us because you sure in the hell wasn't going to go back. So that was interesting. She definitely had a lavish lifestyle. They showed still photos. Here's another thing. They're not going to be showing videos. And if they do show the videos, it will only be to the, limited press, attorneys, and the jury. So it won't be something that's public. And if there's something that they need to show us, it will be still photos. So it won't be something that's nobody's going to get to see anything seedy. And it sounds like she had all the videos in the first place. And I think they asked her why she kept the videos. Oh, this is another thing where they tried to cross her today, because she was saying that she didn't like doing the freak-offs, she didn't like the videos, she didn't like it. And there was something where she was talking about a video, and she was saying they were texting, and she says, yeah, we had fun that night, I deleted the video. And so the person said, the defense person said, because I can't remember which person it was, she said, well, why did you delete the video? Was it a freak-off video? And she's like, I don't remember. And see, that's where people were saying, you do remember, Cassie. And she was like, well, the only videos that you ever referencing deleting were videos of your freak-offs. So, because they're like asking her to give context and explain what she meant in various text message threads, right? And she's like, I don't know. And she's like, we like, girl, you know what it was. You deleted a freak-off video. What other video did you delete? You weren't deleting videos of you being out in the public at the Met Gala and stuff like that. And so she talks about how she will become insanely jealous over him, because the two people that really got to her was Gina and Kim Porter. Those two, he kept messing with them, and it made her sick. Now, somebody said, and I missed it, so I can't quote it, but that Kim Porter at one point had told her that she was going to be the next, that she was going to be her next, and that's exactly what happened. Also, it sounds like she had various little jobs. Hey, Red, how you doing? Girl, I am at the court, okay? It's been a long day, you guys. For those of you that came in late, I was talking about, I saw the family. They saw my shirt. Let me show you guys my shirt. I got some t-shirts made, and so they saw them, and they're not happy, right? And you guys know I got the white nails, right? I got the full set on the other side, but I got the white freak-off nails. And so when they saw my shirt saying Celebrity Scandalous, one of the ladies in their group was kind of sighed, like in disgust, and they kind of looked at me and just not rolled their eyes, but it was a look of, ugh, get out of here. So I scooted on back off of their floor. But so I was saying that I was next to Janice Combs today when they let her in. We all went in at the same time, and they patted her wig down. You guys, I think the lounge is here. Because Lounge be making fun of Janice. Lounge be making fun of her wig, calling it a Timu wig, right? So y'all, they patted her wig down, and it's a lot of women in here with wigs. Y'all know I wear one, right? And they ain't touched nobody else's hair. And I was like, what did they do? I couldn't believe it. And you guys, I was close enough to this woman. Yes, they patted her wig. They had her sit down, and they patted her wig. Now, I was like right behind her. I mean, you know how you standing in line to somebody close enough where, if they turn around, that's how close I was. And she was with, I don't know, another woman. They look like some round-the-way girls. They older women, but you could tell this was some freak-off chicks back in the day. You could tell because one of the ladies that she's with, I don't know who she is to her. This woman had on some of them. They weren't thigh-high boots, but the woman had to be every bit of almost 70. But Diddy's mom, I was able to really get close to her. She's frail. I don't know if she's in her 70s, but she looked medicated. And this is... Okay, Lounge says she looks like she lost some weight. Yeah, she looked really, she looks like she's mumbling a little bit, like she's a, huh? You want to get ready to go? Okay. So she was kind of mumbling a little bit, you know? Which way you want to go? Okay. So they were getting confused, okay? Because the guys, you guys know how every day Christian kind of walks in with her and he be holding her and stuff. Well, they stopped, like how we have to go in and check all of our stuff. So her and her little friend, relative, whoever it was, they were both kind of older women, right? So they was getting confused because, you have to turn in your electronic devices. They was getting the men so rattled that I think one of them had a cell phone and they didn't even take it because they was fumbling around. And his mother, she looked like she's on some kind of medication or something, or it could just be old age or stress, but she was kind of like mumbling to herself and, didn't know where to go. And I was telling her, not her, but I was telling the lady she was with, I said, get her, she needs to get her token because she doesn't have her token. She's not going to get her stuff back. She was just confused, y'all. And I felt sorry for her. But, yeah, it's been crazy. We've been seeing them around. They've been actually talking to people. Max said they pointed at me, and it was me mugging me when they were getting on the elevator. Because I said, let's get on the elevator with them. But Max said, nah, I don't want to do that.
I would have parked there.
But, Max didn't want to get on the elevator because he said they was pointing and kind of didn't look like they wanted me to get on. So, that's fine. But anyway, y'all, we walking back to the car and I'm tired. I don't want to be huffing and puffing in you guys' ears. But we'll be back tomorrow morning and I might extend my stay. It just depends. I don't know. But it's so much fun, you guys. It is so much fun. This is day 4 for me. So I'm going to try to go live more. I don't know if I told you guys I saw Armand Wiggins. That was cool. He's really a sweetheart. But I will see you guys tomorrow. And y'all stay safe. Okay, bye.